Hello, I'm going to talk about a book called The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. It was written by Gabrielle Zevin in 2014. The cover of this book is like weird because it looks like it was like a horror story because of letters or something, I don't know. But it really is about something else. It's about the life of a man called AJ, who is the main character. The book is about how his life turned out to be something that he did not expect. Okay, his life turned out to be something he did not expect because there are some parts in the story where he goes through a very rough time. The story has many characters. There's AJ, who is the main one. He owns a bookstore, like I said before. So his wife is dead and his bookstore is experiencing a very bad time, and he's kind of a lonely man. And over that, like I've said before, his most valuable possession got stolen. So he's kind of like sad and lonely kind of person. Then the next character is Maya, and she gets into AJ life when she's just a baby, and she's a very smart girl, and she stays with AJ like as if he was his father till she goes to college. Then another character is Amelia, who is a sales rep at Nightly Press. She works there, and she meets AJ later on the story. There are also some more characters like Chief Lambias and Ismay. I really like this story because it was like a real life story. It was not fantasy or something like that. The book also like makes you want to keep reading, and you always want to know what's going to happen next to AJ because everything that happens to him is very interesting, and sometimes you can relate to what happens to him. Gabrielle Zevin is an American author, and she's from New York. She graduated from Harvard in 2000, and she's 37 years old. It was nominated for an Independent Spirit Award for Best First Screenplay.
So, I'm going to talk about this new book that I have here. It is called Nothing, from the author Jane Teller. Looks like this. It says nada in Spanish, but also it means nothing in English. And the year 2000 she came with this book. It was very controversial, it was very polemic. The Danish society didn't accept it, neither the German. The reason that it was forbidden by so many parents is that this book talks a lot about the meaning of life, and like sometimes as a parent you can't let your 14-year-old child to wonder what's the true meaning of life. It has a very complicated message, but at the end the author leaves a note which makes like easier to digest its whole content. It was published first on 2000, but it arrived to Mexico at the year 2012. It was 12 years later of its publishment, so it was really hard for this book to come to where I am now. I liked the book, but I expected more from it. I expected to be more clear for me, and so planted like more like a not easy way, but like more detailed way. But you cannot expect much from a book from about 150 pages. It is really a short story. Let me talk to you about the plot. The plot is about a bunch of kids from middle school. They are one at the very beginning of the scholar year, one of their classmates named Pierre Antoine, he stands up in front of the class, and at the very beginning of the day, and he stands up in front of everyone and says, "Nothing matters. I know that since a long time ago. So there's nothing else to do. That I just wondered." This kid, Pierre Antoine, he's 14 years old. He discovers that there's no true meaning of life. There's nothing that makes sense, and there's nothing else to do. So he leaves literally the school. He spends his whole year sitting in the top of a tree. He starts yelling at people when they pass by. He starts yelling people about his philosophy, about how everything's going to die and nothing is worth it. He kind of convinced his friends, but they refuse to believe this. They refuse to believe that the life is so empty. So they start doing their best to convince Pierre Antoine that life is worth it. But as it evolves, as the story goes on, they kind of lose the main objective, which was convincing Pierre Antoine that life is worth it. They kind of take it personal, and they want to prove themselves that life is worth it, but just to themselves, and everything is coming a matter of selfishness. The characters here there are so many main characters. As a matter of fact, you will, as you read it, you will forget about some of them, and then when you read again of them, you will notice that you don't remember who they were. They are very well constructed. They are true, so that you can believe them. This is obviously a fiction story. No one could expect this to happen in real life, but you can think of it, and when you think of it, is when you start wondering if life has a true meaning. You start thinking like they are fun. So you start thinking at the same time that you're reading a novel. And the thing is that this novel was, according to the author, it was written like spontaneously. She said, I started writing the book, but then I finished with something I have never expected. She had never written for junior novels, so this is the book. There's also a second part from this book. It's called Todo, in English, everything. This is the book, Todo. It's called Everything, from the author. This is from 2013, I guess. I already have it. I really like the story. I really liked it, but I expected more. I think I kind of disappointed. I strongly disagree with the ending of the book. It has a plot twist that you will never expect it. As the book goes on, you start to think that Pierre Antoine might be right. Well, at least it was for me. I started thinking that, and I started thinking that the characters weren't going to change Pierre Antoine's mind. I thought like there was also a lost cause on this book, and that's what it all is about. It also shows that money and fame and this kind of material stuff that talks about a lot in the book isn't worth it. So it really makes you think for a good time. And also, well, that's it. Thank you.